Good morning. It is 9 a.m. on March 13th. Thanks for tuning into Daybreak here on WGRZ Plus, and we continue to follow breaking news this morning, where officials have confirmed 4 of 6 U.S. crew members have been confirmed dead after their military refueling plane crashed in Iraq on Thursday while taking part in Iran war operations. Central Command said in a post on X just an hour ago that the KC-135 plane went down at approximately 2 p.m. Eastern Time in western Iraq, with 4 crew members confirmed dead. The statement didn't note the status of the other 2 crew members, but said that rescue efforts continue. We do not know the identity of the service members. Their identities will be released 24 hours after the families have been notified. We also don't know where the plane was based out of. It's important to note that the 914th Air Refueling Wing in Niagara Falls has the same type of aircraft, the KC-135, and they deployed those aircraft to the Middle East last summer during previous strikes on Iran nuclear sites. No word if any have been deployed to the Middle East right now. But we did learn last week that the Thunder of Niagara Air Show was canceled because Central Command said that the crews were needed to assist in the war. So once again, we do not know if any of the airplanes or crew members from the 914th were involved in the crash of the KC-135 in Iraq yesterday. But we will continue to keep you updated. We will reach out to the 914th here, and once we hear back, we will certainly let you know. And this news comes back here at home as 2 instances of deadly violence across the country are raising concerns of threats in the U.S. Oil prices are also still a top concern as President Trump says he's trying to find ways to stabilize prices. NBC's Alice Barr has the details.
The U.S. military now confirming at least 4 American service members died when their refueling aircraft went down in western Iraq, noting the incident was not due to hostile or friendly fire and that the circumstances are under investigation, along with rescue efforts for 2 other crew members. That amid a pair of attacks raising concerns about potential threats to the homeland. In Michigan, an armed man drove his car into a Detroit area synagogue and down a hall while a preschool was in session. Security guards at Temple Israel shot at the driver and he was found dead inside.
We are leading the investigation right now as a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community.
No children or Temple staff were hurt in the attack, but 1 security officer was injured, and roughly 30 officers were hospitalized for smoke inhalation after the suspect's car caught on fire. The Department of Homeland Security now identifying that suspect as 41-year-old Ayman Mohammed Ghazali, a U.S. citizen originally from Lebanon.
It's a terrible thing. We're going to be right down to the bottom of it.
While in Norfolk, Virginia, a shooting at Old Dominion University is being investigated as a potential act of terrorism. Investigators say 36-year-old Mohammed Baylor Jallo targeted an ROTC class, killing Army Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Shaw and injuring 2 other Army personnel, before authorities say a group of brave students subdued the suspect, who also died. Jallo, a former member of the Virginia National Guard, was arrested in 2016 for attempting to provide material support to ISIS, according to court documents that also show he pleaded guilty to a terrorism-related charge and was released from prison under supervision in 2024. In new details, a local official tells NBC News that several members of the Michigan synagogue attacker's family were killed in an Israeli airstrike in southern Lebanon last week. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now, here at home, the Buffalo Jewish Federation released a statement saying that it is, quote, heartbroken that yet another U.S. Jewish institution has been the target of an attempted attack. Incidents like this are deeply unsettling. Jews make up a small percentage of the American population, yet according to FBI data, nearly 70% of religiously motivated hate crimes in the United States are directed at Jews. And it goes on to say, out of an abundance of caution, and given the already heightened threat environment, the Federation is working with local, state, and federal law enforcement to increase security at Jewish institutions and organizations throughout Western New York, end quote. And as a result of the oil concerns, gas prices continue to rise across the country and here at home. AAA is reporting the national average for a gallon of regular gas sits at $3.63 this morning. That's nearly 70 cents higher than a month ago. And we are doing slightly better here at home, though, with the Buffalo average at $3.53 a gallon this morning. Buffalo police released body cam footage of an officer shooting and killing a man last week on Minnesota Avenue. We want to warn you, though, that it may be disturbing for some to watch. The body camera video shows police at the home telling 58-year-old Charles Butler to come out of his room and then tasing and shooting him when he charged at them with 2 knives. The officers asked him to put the knives down several times. Buffalo police were also able to give us several police reports from around the country showing Butler had a history of mental health issues.
They breached the door, but they did not make entrance into the room, right? They attempted to call the subject out, which the subject chose. He made a decision to not put down the knives and charge the officers, right? So I understand the question about the commentary, but when you look at officers have this call, this radio call of, hey, 2 people are being held at knife point, and then the subject who is making the phone call is outside and he doesn't know what's going on. So that is a decision that those officers have to make. And when you look at some of the scenarios around the country from officers in action and people getting hurt, I understand why that decision was made.
And last week we did report that Butler was holding 3 people at knife point because that is what police said in their press release. But yesterday we were told that that wasn't the case and that the other people inside the home were scared for their lives. 3 officers remain on paid administrative leave while the investigation continues. Okay, we will get to sports coming up after the break, and also Dick's House of Sport, Patrick, just cut the ribbon a few minutes ago. That is right next to the new Costco that's being built right in Amherst. And our Natalie Foss will be live in a few minutes to show us what is inside this massive new sports store. Patrick, are you here? Patrick?
Oh, I thought you were tossing to Natalie.
No, she's at the end of the show. I'm talking to you.
I heard Natalie, and so then I, put the music back into my ears and I started listening to Hammer Jams, but I guess I'll do this now.
There's only 23 minutes left. You can do it.
We've got a lot to say. No, we're getting the latest in. A new update just came in showing us potential winds that have actually gone up a little bit in the last hour in terms of our forecast. All right, here's what we've got for the next 3 days. Of course, today we're looking at snow developing in about an hour or 2. It's going to snow through the early afternoon, maybe let up a bit, and then return as some gusty rain showers later this afternoon. Tomorrow, clouds and cool, windy tonight, by the way, and then Sunday, windy and mild in the afternoon after a little bit of morning snow. Okay, there goes the snow. Notice there's a little bit of a lull. If you have any sports practice that you need to get outside today, if you can manage the 2:30 to 4:30 window, you might get some dry time out on the fields today. I don't know how much baseball, lacrosse, things like that, maybe practicing. Okay, then as we head into late afternoon, here comes some gusty rain showers, followed by snow showers this evening. If you're going to the Bandits game, it might be a snowy entrance or a rain and snow mix into the arena, and then snowy as you come out. Windy, too. Eesh. It's not going to be very pretty, I'll tell you that. The game hopefully is. There's the snow overnight, snow tomorrow morning, and then we're going to see snow showers tapering down, leading to partial clearing in the afternoon, but it will be a cool day tomorrow for the Old Neighborhood Parade. Snowfall totals today, 1/2 inch to 1 inch on grassy surfaces. Roads will stay wet, but then it snows tonight and it's windy. So travel may be a little sketchy, especially in the hills with low visibilities as that snow's blowing around. 2 to 4 inches, it looks like, by tomorrow morning. Maybe the hilltops getting a bit more. Wind speed, so notice we've got close to a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. Look at Dunkirk, up to 63. So it is going to be, this is high wind warning level winds. And the winds stay elevated tonight with the snow. And then even into overnight tonight, power outages are possible due to, again, trees not having as much of a foundation to keep them upright with the recent rains. And then we've got decreasing winds tomorrow. High temperatures today should get to around 40 with snow to rain, then back to snow. Tomorrow, morning snow showers, then mostly cloudy with some late partial clearing. Sunday, morning snow, then up to 50 or low 50s. Snow developing, some rain mixes in. There are those winds today and tonight, both gusting to near 60. Weather impact alert for Monday, 61 with rain showers, gusty rain showers, and then temperatures tumbling into the 20s the next day, St. Patrick's Day. The coldest St. Patrick's Day since 2004, so that's 22 years. And did you know, Melissa, of all the St. Patrick's Days dating back to the 1940s, only 13% of them have temperatures in the 20s.
Really?
So it's pretty low, yeah.
And probably even lower percentage of those that actually snowed on St. Patrick's Day.
Ooh.
That's another one to check,
Okay,
right?
I will have that for you after the break.
Ooh, thank you. One more quick question. Never mind, I'll talk to you about it after the break.
No, I'm busy tonight, sorry.
We'll be right back. It's fine. Okay, we really will be right back after the break.
So real quick, snow on St. Patrick's Day since 1944. There's been measurable snow 28 times. So that's 34% of the St. Patrick's Days dating back 82 years. 34% of them have had snow.
That's
falling.
a lot.
That's more than I thought. The most snow that's ever fallen on St. Patrick's Day was 6 inches. I think I have the date.
But you said only 13% of St. Patrick's Days have been in the 20s?
That have had highs in the 20s.
Highs in the 20s.
Yes. The coldest St. Patrick's Day, there was like a low of 4 below. That was like in the 1800s.
It's fascinating, though. Only 13% have had highs in the 20s, but 34% have had snow in the 20s.
Yeah, because it can snow at 38.
Yeah.
It can snow. Yeah, so you can.
But measurable snow.
Measurable, yeah. But that's what the if you look at all the statistics and put them all together, yeah.
We have a weather show now that streams here at 12:30 on WGRZ Plus, and I'm sure over the course of the next few days, you'll do a lot of these little St. Patrick's Day stats.
St. Patrick's Days where it snowed when St. Patrick's Day is on a Wednesday. We'll have that number for you coming up.
St. Patrick's Day is on a Tuesday.
I know, but when they're on Wednesdays, it tends to snow more.
Are you kidding me?
Just having fun.
My head is about to explode this morning.
Hey, no, stats are stats. Carry on.
Okay. Sabres, they lost last night. They broke their 8-game win streak, but there's bad news that they lost. But the good news is that they still are at the top of the Atlantic Division. But yeah, they lost 2-1 against the Capitals at KeyBank Center, and sports reporter Jonathan Acosta breaks down the game for us this morning.
What goes up must eventually come down. The Sabres riding sky high entering Thursday with their second win streak this season of 8+ games, and hoping it wouldn't be Washington bringing Buffalo back down to earth. Sabres and Caps at KeyBank Center. Gatsville native Haley Skamura, fresh off winning gold with Team USA, banging the drum pregame, and the Sabres' fourth line getting to work once things got underway. After a great shift just minutes earlier, Beck Mallenstein, sweet backhand feed to Sam Carrick. The deadline pickup already with the second goal as a Sabre. Buffalo all over Washington in the first, but the Caps weathered the storm, and in the second, Logan Stanley turnover, Ryan Leonard the other way. He ties things up on just Washington's fourth shot on goal of the game. And from there, Washington really outplayed Buffalo. Late third, under 2 to go. Luukkonen can't hold on to the puck. Alexi Protas, a great find to Jacob Chychrun. And that's your game winner. The Caps come into Buffalo and snap the Sabres' 8-game run, 2-1 the final at KeyBank Center.
I felt we had like 4 or 5 guys that weren't really going that well. It was one of those games that I felt a couple of our guys were flat. Our passes weren't quite on. We were missing some shots up top. We were missing lanes. We could have turned some of the opportunities into better opportunities, but we didn't.
The Sabres lead atop the Atlantic Division, now down to just 2 points over Tampa Bay. Buffalo is back in action Saturday at home against the Toronto Maple Leafs. On your side here in the studio, Jonathan Acosta, Channel 2 Sports.
So the Leafs aren't very good right now.
Right,
And the
but
Sabres are very good. So
right.
I'm wondering whether any Leafs fans have just wanted to sell their tickets, knowing that Buffalo fans will pay a lot to scoop them up so that they can go.
That's a good point.
Because typically the Leafs fans, they outnumber Sabres fans here at home. And so I'm really curious about tomorrow.
I do not want a 2-game losing streak. I don't know.
Austin Matthews is not playing tomorrow.
I heard that, yeah.
So,
and a lot of the games that they have moving forward, because they go west next week, are very winnable games. Because the West isn't all that strong. You know, Vancouver. I don't know who the exact. I'm assuming
Colorado's the top of the.
I'm not sure where they're going west. I'm assuming it's like Seattle, Vancouver, the Golden Knights, Sharks, Kings. So
you're just naming Western teams. I have no idea. I got to.
They all kind of lump them together anyway. So hopefully they can rebound Saturday.
Yeah. It's okay. It's fine. Thank you.
Vegas and San Jose. Okay.
Thank you, Topher. Topher's last day, by the way. He's our streaming
producer. I heard that. How do we fix that? How do we change that?
No, he's a good producer.
Find out where he's going and let's sabotage. Let's write some things that aren't true so he can't take that new job.
You're interesting today. Very underhanded and jokey and sarcastic.
Very Friday the 13th. Yeah, I'm just kidding. We're wishing Topher the best in his new endeavors.
Okay.
That sounds
congratulations, Topher.
better.
And we do wish you the best, and we will miss you for sure. Let's transition to the Bills now. 2 of the newest members spoke with the media yesterday for the first time since joining the team. Defensive lineman Bradley Chubb signed a 3-year deal to boost the Bills' pass rush, while wide receiver DJ Moore was acquired in a trade, giving Josh Allen a new top target. Both say they are ready to get things rolling at One Bills Drive.
Yeah, for sure got a chip on my shoulder still, man. Just because of how my career has played out, you know, every time I pop off and do what I'm supposed to do, it feels like, you know, something comes and get me the following year. And I feel like that in a sense is frustrating because people could start doubting and throwing doubt, oh, he's not that, he's not this, but I know what I could do and I know what I have in the tank left. And I feel like because of that, I haven't put too many miles on my body. So I'm excited to go out there and lay it all out on the line and you know, be a Bill. I feel like I'm gonna hit my stride and it's gonna be the perfect place to do it.
You gotta really figure out what your receiver one is really good at, and then as your receiver one, bringing anybody along with him to take some of the pressure off of the receiver one that is quoted to be the receiver one. So if that's not happening, then the receiver one is just out there just playing ball and getting strapped. And then if you don't have nobody else out there with like everybody else, other teams have, we have to go out there and just play as a unit.
And then also happening yesterday, the Bills signed quarterback Kyle Allen on a 2-year deal. He just finished his past season with the Detroit Lions, but this will be his second stint in Buffalo after backing up Josh Allen in 2023. What do you think it feels like to be Josh Allen's backup? Like knowing that no one ever wants to see you on the field.
Oh, that would be, and his last name's Allen. Yeah. So you see an Allen running on the field, you're like, no, not that one. No, I mean, you're right. Nobody wants to see you play because if you're playing, it's not because it's just because something happened to Josh. Mm-hmm. But it's also, you got a clipboard and a baseball hat and you sit on the sidelines and make $2 million. So
I know, not too bad.
Not too bad.
And learning from best also.
And I think Allen and Allen are very good friends. Did we say that? I think. Yeah. They were at the wedding or something like that.
Allen has had a lot to do with bringing in players right now that I've been reading and making calls and making sure that, you know, he didn't have any say over what was happening with the coaches and with losing McDermott, but he certainly has a say right now in who they are acquiring, and I find that to be
Or maybe he doesn't have to do it. He has got a say because people want to come and play here because they get a chance to work with him.
Yeah.
I would think if you're a receiver, this would be like, sign me up, right?
And what were you saying about the safety that they signed?
Oh, he's a really, really good player. But I was listening to Joe Marino, who's got a podcast in the Tegna Network, Locked On Bills. And he was talking about how he's a great player, but he's been with numerous teams in the last 8 years. He was with the Saints. CJ Gardner. He was with the Saints for a couple years, and then he just hopped from team to team to team, meaning why were teams not keeping him? He's a really good player. So there's a question as to, is he a little spicy in the locker room, or what's the deal there? So, and not a typical McDermott hire. Like McDermott would never have hired this kind of player.
Right, he doesn't want showboaters or anyone.
But he's really, really good. And maybe it's like Bean's got like, okay, let's forget the culture. Let's go win.
Let's just win one Super Bowl, and then we can focus on culture.
And I don't. Again, this is just.
But we don't know what he's like in the locker room.
Right. Maybe he's a great guy, and he just likes to chirp. Maybe that's his deal.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Interesting to see all of these moves play out. Okay, speaking of sports, coming up right after the break, sports lovers will love this new store that's opening up today, and we will go live to Natalie Foss at the brand new, enormous Dick's House of Sport. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. Just a few minutes ago, they cut the ribbon on the new Dick's House of Sport that's on Ridgely Road, right near where the new Costco is going up. So anyone who was ever driving on the 290 the last few months, if not year, have seen the Dick's House of Sport being built, and it officially is opened. It actually opened last week very quietly, but now today is the big grand opening, and Daybreak's Natalie Foss was at the ribbon cutting, and she joins us now live from inside the store. Natalie, what's it like?
Well, Melissa, I'm just going to say this to you. It is not just another store. If you think it is just another store, it is not. This place is huge. There is so much to do. I'm here with Anna. Anna, give us just like a little bit of a rundown of how a Dick's House of Sports is different than your average Dick's.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to look really familiar to a lot of Dick's Sporting Goods fans out there, but this is the next level. Not only do we have the best selection of product out there, but we've got these experiences, and we're going to come up to the rock wall here in a second.
So there's a rock wall. Obviously, we're seeing the rock wall right now. Tell us about some of the other things that there is to do. I mean, not just the rock wall. Obviously, it's very cool.
Yeah, so we've got a field here as well. So it's got a small running track around the outside, as well as a half soccer pitch. So we're going to have camps, clinics, anything you could possibly imagine to really bring the community here into this location.
So you were telling me something that's special about the rock wall is that, and really throughout the store, honestly, is that there's a lot of local touches.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that and why that's important to you guys.
Yeah, because one of the goals here at House of Sport is to become a community hub. So we want to bring our community members in, but you also see it in the visuals here in this store. So if you look back behind the rock wall, we've got a picture of the Niagara Glen here. And if you go into one of our other locations, our location out in Rochester, our location in Miami, Florida, you're not going to see a picture of the Niagara Glen behind the rock wall.
So one of the things that you and I were talking about is that I'm learning how to golf. It is going interestingly.
Yeah.
My boyfriend will tell you I'm doing okay, but I think it's just because he's nice. But upstairs, you have a lot of stuff going on with the golf. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have the TrackMan golf bays upstairs. So we're going to staff a PGA Pro in there, so he will be able to do lessons, clinics, different events. We'll be able to regrip your golf clubs up there for you. You can play on pretty much any course on the back of a TrackMan. So you could go hit a couple balls at Pebble Beach if you wanted to.
That was another thing with the batting cages too, is that you don't just have to play in a generic baseball stadium. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we've got our Hit Tracks cage upstairs, and not only can you play baseball and softball up there, but you could do lacrosse, field hockey, and again, it's one of those projection screens, so you could do a home run derby in Fenway Park if you wanted to.
Anna, tell me about, if people are watching this at home and they want to come sometime this weekend, tell me about some of the fun promotions that are happening, and then also give me your hours just so we know when we can come.
Yeah, so we open at 9 a.m. tomorrow and then 10 a.m. on Sunday, and we've got Deion Dawkins and James Cook coming for appearances, but you need to come and get a wristband, so come early if you want to come check it out, do some shopping, get your wristband. We also have the House of Sport games happening here, so just gives you an opportunity to try out a bunch of different locations in the store.
Anna, thank you so much.
Yes,
she gave me such an
gosh.
amazing tour earlier, but you really honestly just have to come and check it out for yourself. So many different cool things. They have a whole collector section upstairs with all sorts of different stuff too. So maybe if you're not necessarily a sports athlete, but you love to watch sports and collect sports memorabilia, there's something really for everyone here. And like Anna said, they're open right now, and they open at 9 tomorrow and 10 on Sunday. So you can come and enjoy it and come and do all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, we drove by last week and Elliot's like, Mom, it looks open because there were so many cars in the parking lot. So we did go in and Elliot was so excited to try the simulator, to putt around, and then that, as you said, the sports card section. He's really into collecting right now. There's so many sports card collectors out there, and this is really cool to have this massive sports card section there. And Natalie, what about you? What was your favorite part of the store?
Okay, Melissa, seeing all of the clothes, because I'm a shopper, so there's like all sorts of little like skirts and dresses and every color of water bottle in the whole world is here. So I do have to say that that's probably my favorite part. It's just very visually pleasing, and I'm probably going to spend a lot of money.
She's awesome.
I love Natalie. Just not trying to be super journalistic here. Just tell us like it is. I like to go shopping and I want skirts and dresses.
The other thing you walk out of that store with is you have like 4 bags of sporting gear and then 1 bag of candy, because the line to check out is all big box candy.
I never knew that I need pickle flavor sunflower seeds.
Right.
Now I do. Bye everybody. Have a great weekend.